Today I'm here with a really amazing special guest. Her name is Rachel. What's up, Rachel?
Hi.
And Rachel was so amazing. She was a part of the Ultimate Raw Transformation course with me and my friend Matt from Raw Intuition. And so I begged her to come on here so that I could just talk to her a little bit and I could ask her about the experience, especially because I'm starting a brand new course. And so before we get started, I just want to let everybody know if you're interested in being in my brand new course starting February 1st, send me an email. I'll leave the information below. Send me the words I am ready and I'll send you all the information. It's for women only and it's for food addicts only. And why am I doing this? Because I was a food addict for so long and so was Rachel, and that's why I want to talk to her about it because it is something that only survives in isolation, and when we connect with others, it gets so much easier, you know? And it's just like something that like no addiction can really thrive in a community setting because we have each other and we have the support and we know we're not alone anymore. And so let me just get started, Rachel, because you really helped me so much, even though like you were a part of the course, but like you helped
Yeah.
me and I went through a lot of life changes during the course and you were like, there were so many synchronicities that happened between us personally. But let me start with the food addiction because I had never connected to so many beautiful, amazing women who also suffered from a food addiction. So, can you just tell us a little bit about your experience with food addiction, when it maybe started, and how it has affected your life?
Sure. I would say that it started in puberty with sugar, like wanting, like spending all my allowance on sugary items. But I wasn't really using food to numb feelings at that point. I don't think it was more sugar addiction. And then as the years went by, I learned how I could get so full that I didn't feel feelings anymore. And then I learned I can block my feelings by making my stomach so uncomfortably full. It changed the subject, and I'm no longer having those feelings, whatever they were. I'm just concerned about my over bloated tummy. And so I started using food that way.
Yeah, I never thought of it like that. Yeah, that's what it was. I was causing myself to not to like be distracted by my pain and by my nausea and by my hate for myself and by my all these things that came with the binging on the food. It was such a big distraction and it was a release from feeling those feelings. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And so now, Rachel, you have obviously, a lot, you've learned a lot over the years about yourself, about how to recover from that. Can you give some tips and tricks on like what has helped you the most over the years?
Um, the number one thing that has helped me the most that I told myself years ago, and I even told my sister who has struggled with this, never give up. No matter
Mhm.
what, never give up. Never give up. When you feel like you don't care anymore and you're done with it, you're done with the diet, you're done with trying to take control, just never give up. That's number one thing. Number two thing I'm going to say is Jeanette Boo's course.
Ah, I thought I was going number one, but I'll take number two. Okay.
The only reason because you're not number one is because I'm 66 years old. And so I've been dealing with this thing for, 5 decades, let's just say. And so if I waited till I was 66 to find you, I'd probably be in a real hurting trouble. So the fact that I never gave up led me to a lot of things and it led me to you.
Ah, so now, appease my ego for a second, and can you just share some things that you did in the course that either you got reminded to do or you might have learned for the first time? Was there anything in the course that like stood out to you on a habit or anything that you remember that that was really valuable to you?
Most definitely. So, the things that I am using on a daily basis that I learned from you were my vision cards. I was just seeing if they're handy here without making me without you know, moving a lot of things around. But so I have these vision cards, and I have tape recorded those, and so I listen to them every morning and before I even get out of bed. And um, I would say that that is the number one most beneficial thing. There's things that you taught us too, but that, for example, I love myself and I am beautiful. So that when I am going through my day and I run into a little, let's say, hostility, at the store or wherever, um, that those thoughts that I've been hearing about myself, I love myself and you are beautiful, and many more, um, just automatically are there and they just kind of come out. And so it's really helpful. And I have found in your course that this idea of binging has, I have not binged per se since I've been in your course because I haven't wanted to. And I think I'm, airplane above. Um, uh, I think because I have more respect for myself and
Mm,
I love myself more. So it's like I don't want to hurt myself by making my stomach bloated or putting junk into my body that my body can't use productively for my health. Um, you did introduce me to tapping, and that was really cool. And I'm continuing with that. That
really?
helps.
I thought you were tapping for before that.
Just a little bit, but more with on a regular basis with you. Not, I was never on a regular basis before. It was never a daily thing. It was like I was exposed to it, but didn't really do it.
Yes.
And then what else? Um, oh, gratitude list. I do that every day. And I love that. That also carries throughout the day because even if I've said some things that I'm grateful for first thing in the morning, I look around and yes, I'm grateful for, I mean, everything I'm grateful for. There's thousands of things, but um, I'm grateful for this technology that we have right here so that we can do this. I mean, we have such abundant lives. Um, but what I was going to say with that is that that carries on through the day too. So as I'm walking around, I'm looking at all the things that I'm grateful for, or thinking about all the things I'm grateful for. Just naturally, it's like my um, patterns in my brain are changing. I should have some water too.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Rachel, because there's so much I want to talk about that you said because well, it just feels really nice to connect with somebody who has the same views on life and who's working on themselves and who knows what it's like to be hurting themselves with food because like I really didn't know any food addicts before I did the course. And now I know a bunch of women who are working on themselves because it's an ongoing journey, right? And now I have a community, and that is why I'm doing group coaching. I've been coaching for years, but it wasn't fulfilling because it was just me and the person, and then I couldn't be there for them all the time. But now I do group coaching, so I'm connecting people from all over the world that can help each other, support each other. And so tell me, you so in the course, can you just tell me something about the community that has been formed from the course, the other amazing women?
Uh, well, first of all, one thing that's different about this time that you're introducing it as opposed to last time is that last time the emphasis, I believe, was um, for people who wanted to eat raw vegan. And this time it's addicts.
Yes.
But I think even though you didn't advertise it as that way, I think everybody in the course identified themselves as food addict with no pressure. They just saw that about themselves.
Yeah.
And so there we were. We were like our own, like I don't want to say 12-step program, but you know what I mean. There's a cohesiveness with people who share the same, like, hurdles, if you will, like at Christmas time, going to the family's house and not be tempted by memories of last Christmases and then repeating the cycle with the same food that harms us and, is contradictory to what we're trying to do. So that, and then also, I don't want to, share, I mean, spill all the beans for what's coming for your course. But one thing that, if you're listening out there, Jeanette Boo had for us was that she selected accountability partners for us. And so, I'm from Washington State, I'm from Seattle, and my accountability partner is also from Washington. I haven't met her yet, but I will be meeting her in May. So it's really cool.
But you guys talk on the phone once a week, right?
Yes. Uh huh.
And maybe text too.
Yeah.
And yeah, I will definitely be doing that again because that is the most value that I can provide for people to connect. I feel like I'm a matchmaker. I'm
Yeah.
a food freedom matchmaker, and I can connect people from all around the world. And
Yeah.
so thank you very much. And it's just I always yes,
Well, the thing about that is then it means that the course is not over.
never.
Even though you're not directly, presenting to us, if you will, we continue the discussion with amongst ourselves. We also have a group chat. So we continue this discussion amongst ourselves and we're still our own support group amongst ourselves.
Forever. You'll be friends with these people forever, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of like a mini fruit festival, but you got to bring your own fruit. Um, and
In, in the comfort of your own home.
yeah, 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 absolutely. So that's what I tried to cultivate, and that's what I'm going to continue doing every few months. If you're interested in joining this one, it's women only that believe that they have a food addiction. And like Rachel just said, I didn't advertise that, but like it turned out every single one of us had suffered either now or previously with food addiction. So it seems like Rachel, it's way more prevalent than like I thought, and maybe you as well.
Well, I think what the issue is, I think it's quite prevalent in our society. I mean, every occasion is a eating occasion in our culture, in our society. The numbers of obesity shows you that food addiction is alive and well out there. What's difficult to understand is people self-identifying that way. It's like an alcoholic, right? It's like the last person to admit they have a problem is the alcoholic themselves. So, like, there's plenty of food addicts out there. I would say that most obese people probably are because they're using food inappropriately to gain or eating the wrong foods, most definitely, like high fat, high salt, high sugar to gain the weight. But I mean, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, I'm none of those labels, but in my mind, when I see very obese people, I just naturally think they're food addicts. But perhaps they don't know it, just like the alcoholic didn't know it. They think they have it under control, or they're going to start a diet on Monday, or they heard about this new diet. So, they got it under control. So they might not necessarily recognize that they're a food addict.
Yeah, good point. Or that it's normal. Like everyone's living like this. And now that I'm
Yeah.
on the other side, and you as well are on the other side of it, we can see that it was not normal. And it's
No,
not the
it's
way we're
not
supposed to
normal.
be living.
No, it's not normal to be 50 pounds overweight. That's not normal.
No, and also to be hurting yourself because you said earlier it was such a good point, which is like, yeah, when we eat food and we eat to the point where we're just like physically ill and we just hate life and we're so mad at ourselves and we're so sick and it's just like a punishment to ourselves. And I found out that the core problem is never the food, is not the food, it's always the lack of self-love and the lack of self-worth, and we are trying to punish ourselves. And so yeah, Rachel, can you tell me about like some breakthroughs you might have had over the years, not just in the course, but over the years where you came into your worth, and any advice that you can give someone out there watching that maybe they can't join the course, but like what can they do to feel worthy and deserving of love and respect from themselves and from others?
I would say it's the same thing about the weight. I said never give up. I would say never give up on yourself too, because I've been in some sort of self growth type, activity most of my life. Whether I've decided to get more involved in religion, or I'm reading self help books, or I've always been working on myself. I mean, I'll say there's been times in my life. I mean, we all have seasons in our life. When we're in college, you're focused on your studies. It's like, you barely have time to floss your teeth because you have to make it to class, by 8 o'clock. And so that is that season, your study season. And then there might be another season where you signed up for a marathon or something. And so now you're just concentrating on that. And there might be a season where you just like, don't feel like doing anything, and your fat slob season. I mean, where where you're just not working on anything. But through all these seasons, more than not, I have self-help has been a part of my self-growth, and reading books and trying to
Yeah, I want to pick your
learn
brain real
better
quick.
way of eating and all that stuff.
I want to pick your brain real quick on something because you are someone who lives a no excuse mentality. And that's why I love you. And that's why I connected to you. And that's why I'm so grateful that I have this magical power, Rachel, where I just attract the most amazing people, seriously, to my life. And I don't know how it works out in the universe. And I'm just so grateful. But first of all, you're a cold water swimmer. That's number one. Okay. So, y'all, she swim in cold water, like cold, cold. Like what temperature?
Well, in Seattle, it gets as cold as 43
Okay.
degrees.
Okay.
Most people don't understand what that is because they think, oh, 43 degrees,
No.
that's not even freezing out in the world, in the air. But when you're in the water sucks out your body heat way faster than air does. So it feels much colder in the water than it does in the air.
Let me tell you guys, when it's 75 here in Miami, when the water is 75, I won't go in. Okay? So let me just tell you that. Okay? So for, to see the difference. Now,
And most swimming pools are about 82 degrees,
yes.
indoor
So
swimming pools.
Rachel, how do you do it? What do you say? What is the self-talk that you say to yourself to get into the water at that temperature, or just like a very uncomfortable cold temperature?
Well, a lot of times it starts with I know I need to do it for a mental health swim. So I need to do that. But I don't feel like it. Okay, so that's fine. You don't have to. Just go down and look at the water. So I'll drive down and I'll look at the water and I go, wow, that sure looks inviting. And it's like, yeah, but I don't want to go in there. It's like, okay, you don't have to go in there. You just go put your feet in there. Okay, I'll go put my feet in there. And there's this self talk. Okay, wow, it's cold. Okay, just dip 3 times. You just have to go 3 times. One, two, three. Then you have permission to leave and go home. And I would talk myself through these steps, and until once I got in, once I got in after like 10 minutes, I'm like, whoa, this is so nice. This feels so good. And then I get out, and I'm like so grateful that I went in.
Okay, so now this is an amazing mentality that you have cultivated. This is like a Goggins mentality because he talks about this all the time too. Just put on your shoes. Just go outside. Just run for 10 minutes. Just run 1 mile. Just run 2 miles. This is the mentality. How did you cultivate this mentality? Where did this come from? Have you always been like this?
No, no, I think it happened with the cold water swimming because I really wanted to do it. I wanted to
Ah,
do it, but
ah.
it was freaking cold. And so I had to figure out a way how to talk myself to get in there. And also to give myself permission not to. So I didn't have to do it because remember, each step of the way, I gave myself permission to turn around and go home if I wanted.
Okay, guys, what Rachel just explained to you is exactly what the course is going to do for you. So you don't even need the course. But if you could do it on your own, do it on your own. Obviously, it's going to be way better with a group of amazing women and me leading it, right? But what Rachel just said is the key. You don't have to eat healthy. You get to. You can eat healthy if you want. You can choose to choose the healthy fruit and vegetables, make smoothies, make salads. You can. Or you can eat McDonald's. You can eat Doritos. You can. Now you got to give yourself, you got to understand that you're your best friend. You got to give yourself permission to eat healthy, and you got to give yourself permission to not if you don't want to. But you know what? Like Rachel just said, once you get in, once you start eating a healthy vegan diet, you not gonna want to go back. And hey, once in a while, sure, sure. Once in a while, eat something that you don't always eat. That's part of life. But like on a consistent basis, you're not ever gonna want to go back because it feels so good. And then you're gonna start looking like us, and then you're gonna be like, then you're gonna be on YouTube talking about how you have a course and we should join your course, and maybe we'll join it. But yeah, that's it, Rachel. That is it. Oh, I love your mentality. And also, I mean, I don't know how much I can share with people, but we didn't talk about this, but we're both open books, right?
Almost, not
Almost.
totally.
What am I about to say? No.
I don't know.
Rachel lives in,
Oh,
she
that's
doesn't live
okay.
in a typical home. So Rachel, tell everybody how you did this course. Did you have a blender?
I do have a blender.
You have a blender. You have, it's like a NutriBullet, right? Or you have a
No, I mean I have that one too, but it's just everyone if they're I don't know if they're picking up on it or not, but everything that I have is in reach of me. Like this is my refrigerator, right? I have my blender right here. You know, how is this? Oh, my bed's right here. I'm touching it now. This is my desk. How is this? Because I live in a van. Yes.
no freezer, right?
No, I could set the temperature to freezer, but I don't like it. So I don't have one. No.
Now,
So
this is why, yeah.
I live in 60 square feet. I live in a Mercedes van.
Now,
So
this is why I wanted to interview you because the no excuse mentality, it like it's like one discipline affects the rest, right? And so you can easily say, I have to eat takeout for every meal because I live in a van and I can't make food. I can't be raw. God forbid. I have to do takeout. And you could do that. You could totally say that. And people would be like, yeah, that makes sense. But you said, no, I'm going to be the healthiest version of myself wherever I live, no matter what. And so, can you just tell us how did you eat raw or high raw living in a van? How does that work?
I'm when I moved into the van, I was already whole food plant based. So I was already cooking all my meals myself. Because if you don't want to eat salt, oil, sugar,
If you want to be healthy, you got to make your
if
own
you don't
food.
want to eat those things, SOS free, they say sometimes.
If you want to be healthy, you have to make your own food.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but I was eating more cooked, like cooked potatoes and stuff. Still whole potatoes, but cooked. And then last April, I decided I wanted to eat more raw. And so I the blender works fine for smoothies, but because of my freezer, it doesn't work that great for an ice cream. Because
Mm.
what I found out in my blender is that I only have a certain amount of electricity. And when I run the blender, the high speed that it needs for the ice cream, my electrical system, an alarm will go off and it says, no, you're burning too much electricity, that's too much wattage, no, we're not doing it. So I gave up on the ice cream, but I can still make smoothies at a lower speed.
Voltage.
Yeah, and it works fine, but it is kind of difficult to wash the dishes. I mean, you don't just let the water run in the sink. Every water, all the water that I have in my van, I have brought into my van. I carry it all in. So,
That's why you're so fit. That's why she's so fit. So, what do you eat? What do you usually eat?
um, it's a learning process, and I'm still in the process. But pretty regularly, every morning is a mono meal of fruit. It's basically been oranges since oranges have been in season. Before that, it was melons. And then for lunch, it's either fruit or vegetables. Usually, uh, yeah, usually that. And now I've started. When I was in your course, I ate more raw, but now I've started adding some cooked vegetables, like um, just because it's winter time and I'm in the van, and it's an excuse. We talked about that, but I don't think so,
Mm.
because vegetables are vegetables and cooked vegetables are still better than takeout. And then for dinner, it's kind of the same thing. A lot of times I don't want to, less likely to want to cook at nighttime. I'm more likely to just want to eat 5 bananas or something, just because I have a parking place that I drive to every night, and I want my dishes done before I go to my driving place. And so I have a system. So to answer your question, I would say um, fruit for breakfast, mixture of fruit and vegetables for both uh, noon and evening meal.
Amazing. And I just want to clarify for anyone that might be interested in the next course that I'm doing, it's not about being 100% raw, it's about being 100% healthy. Because honestly, I was a very unhealthy raw vegan for 6 years, and I'm going to talk about it in my course. I'm going to teach you all the mistakes I made. And then I had to decide, do I want to be raw or do I want to be healthy? And I decided to be healthy. And I feel better and look better than I've ever looked in my whole life. I'm, getting the body of my dreams. I'm finally growing my hair. I'm finally feeling good in my skin and in my body and in my mind, in my mental state, in my emotional state, my spiritual state, because I gave up the perfection mindset. And this is the last thing I want to talk about, Rachel, because it's such a shame that so many people fall off a healthy lifestyle because they're trying to be perfect. And it doesn't work because it's just like, well, it's a form, I believe it's a form of self-hate, trying to be perfect because we know we can't. We can't be perfect. And so what do? We try and then we say, "Oh, I'm not perfect. I'm not good enough. I'm not good at this. I'm just going to eat McDonald's or Doritos or whatever, or vegan
Yep.
Oreos or whatever."
Yep.
So now my question to you is, how did you give up the perfection mindset that is literally self-sabotaging so many people out there?
I honestly think, because obviously this has been a long process through the years,
Yes.
but when I would fall pretty hard. Like, oh, I fell. So now I'm going to go eat all this vegan junk food. And I would go on 3 or 4 day binges. So in 3 or 4 days, I could easily gain 10 pounds. Not a problem. And that in itself, because I'm a little bit vain and I don't want that extra weight, that in itself would say, oh, well, that didn't work. I got to go get back to what I was doing. So I honestly, to those 3 or 4 day binges have stopped since I've been in your program. That's a fact. I'm not trying to sell your program. I'm just saying that
Rachel don't lie.
because
No,
it's the
she don't
truth.
lie.
Because it's the truth. I have fallen. I've eaten stuff that, is not necessarily for my health, but it didn't put me on a 3 and 4 day binge. It was like, okay, I had that. I'm done with it. I don't want to keep doing that. It's over.
And you're still, oh, I love you, Rachel. I love that because you're still worthy and deserving of all the good and abundance in the universe, and you're still worthy of love no matter what we eat, no matter what we look like, no matter what. Seriously, and that's the problem, guys. So of course, if you're interested in the course, email me and I'll talk to you more. But if you can't do the course right now, please understand you are worthy and deserving no matter what. And the mentality thinking that you're only worthy and deserving of love if you're perfect, if you're eating healthy, or if you weigh a certain amount, or if you look a certain way, that is ruining everything. That is ruining your self esteem, your confidence, and your ability to trust yourself. And now, Rachel, do you feel, I know for a fact I can trust myself a whole lot more. Now, not 100%, but do you feel like you can trust yourself just a little bit more?
Yeah, just a little bit more. I'm working on that.
Yeah.
And it's a new concept,
Yeah.
which I also learned in your class. It was like, Oh, trust myself. Oh, if I eat this way, I'm going to grow muscles and trusting of myself, just like you would another human being. I mean, I raised a little girl, and if she lied to me, it would be like, oh dear, you've broken my trust. So now, um, you have to behave in this kind of way or tell me these kind of things for my trust to grow again, to build it back up. And that's the same for ourselves, but I never related it to myself. So every time that now when okay, twice in the last week, I've gone into Whole Foods to get vegan junk food, and both times I had this substance in the container and changed my mind after it was in the container. One time I threw it, I dumped it back in, I didn't touch anything. I dumped it back into the dish and threw the container away. And the second time I had already mixed it with other food, so I couldn't put it back. So when I just walked by a garbage can within Whole Foods and threw it away without anybody seeing. And but I was like, wow, I am learning how to trust myself. And before I would think, oh, that's wrong because I'm supposed to pay for it. I've already gone this far. And it's like, no, I have to put myself first. I changed my mind. I don't have to go through with it because I got that far. I don't have to go through with it. I can throw it away now before I pay for it. It's okay. And so I am learning how to trust myself. It's growing.
That's amazing. I can't tell you how many times in the beginning, yeah, I was putting stuff in my cart. I even bought some stuff sometimes and then I threw it away or I gave it to someone, you know? And it's just like this is part of the process. And it's all good in the hood because we're learning how to love ourselves again. And this is a process. And like you said, you know, well, listen, just so you guys know, and I promised only 30 minutes. So we're at 32. But real quick, I wanted to say in the course that I did with Matt from Raw Intuition, it was the first course that we ever did. And I learned a lot because I realize now that what to do better and what worked and what didn't work. I feel I gave you guys too much. Too much homework, too many things, and now looking back, I realize I need to way less. I need to give way less homework. I need to do the exercises with people on Zoom, and I'm sure you would agree, less homework, because I was just giving so much, read this book, read that book, and it's just like you can't read a book a week. But and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have people stick to one habit for 7 days and commit to it and just one. And then that is going to rebuild the trust we have with ourselves, like Rachel was just talking about, because that's the key. You got to learn how to love and trust yourself again. We've been lying to ourselves for years about how we're going to start Monday. We're going to be perfect starting Monday, January 1st. We're going to be perfect. And then we fall off. And then we're just like, oh, yeah, right. I'm a liar. I'll never trust myself again. But now we are learning to do that. And so it starts with small habits. Like Rachel's looking at her vision cards every day. That is so powerful. Not just because of, the positivity that comes from that, but just because she's sticking to that small, seemingly insignificant habit. But like the cold water, one habit affects the rest. And so we're just, oh, I'm so proud of you. And we're just so great. Honestly, I'm so grateful to even know about these tools, that we can use, like vision cards, like mental toughness and mental self talk, like tapping, like all these little things. And I'm just so proud of you and I'm so grateful and seriously very, very honored to be connected to someone like you, Rachel, because you've taught me a lot. You've done a lot for me. And yeah, I know that all the people that I'm going to attract for the next course are also going to teach me so much and we're going to learn together because like you said, you've been on this journey for your whole life and that's
Five
how it is.
decades.
It's a journey. Yeah, it's a
I mean,
journey.
for the weight and the food obsession since puberty.
And
Hmm.
but you've been working on yourself, developing, reading, self development stuff and now you're taking a course with Brad Yates, my mentor, my tapping mentor, and I'm so happy because changed my life. I took some courses with him and I'm so grateful and so happy for you and you're just going to keep getting better and better and loving yourself more and more and everyone's going to benefit. Everyone, me, your family, every stranger you meet, every friend. So
That's
thank
a
you.
really good point. That's a really good point. That when we help ourselves, we really are helping other people because how we interact with other people is different. I'm
Absolutely. We
more
help
friendly.
other,
I'm
yes.
more friendly with the clerks at the grocery store now.
Yeah, we help other people. We give other people permission. When we love ourselves, we value ourselves, we give other people permission to do the same. And when you're authentic, because Rachel, you're a very authentic, fun, like young spirit, right? And she dances, guys. Check out her TikTok. What's your TikTok, Rachel?
Rachel of Seattle.
You guys gotta, I'll link it below. You gotta check her out because you're gonna watch her. No, no, you're gonna help people feel good, and then they can make better choices. Because when you feel good, you make better choices. And so the thing is that when we give ourselves permission to be authentic, then other people feel like, oh, I can be a weirdo too. I could dance in the street and be happy and celebrate life. I could do that too. And so thank you for giving me permission to be myself and celebrate life and be healthy and feel good and be okay with saying I love myself. I am beautiful. Because you know what? Society is teaching us we're not supposed to say that. And that's crazy. That's crazy. We are enough. We are beautiful. And you're watching this and guess what? You're beautiful too. You are beautiful. Whoever's watching this, you are worthy, you are deserving, you are enough, and you are beautiful exactly the way you are. And so, if you want to change your diet, if you want to lose weight, if you want to clear your skin, if you want to stop binging, send me an email. I'll leave my email below and let's talk and let's see if I could be a good fit to work with you. So, that's it. Rachel, anything else you want to say about anything?
No, I don't. I just feel really good. I don't know what to say.
You look really good. And okay, last thing. If you could share a message, I feel like you already shared the best message of all time, which is don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. But if you could share one more message with everyone in the world, what is some advice that you've gotten over the years or a message that you would love to share just to everyone, no matter what they're dealing with?
Uh, well, it's so simple, but eat more fruits and vegetables.
That's it. That's it. There you go.
You don't have to switch to any kind of diet. I mean, my whole family is sad eaters. My siblings, I'm referring to, and I'm the youngest of four. And I just want to say to them, I pretty much stay out of it, but I just want to say, eat more fruits and vegetables. That's all. You can still eat the other junk. Just try to put more fruits and vegetables in.
That's it. Guys, you do that, you're gonna feel so much better and you'll eat less junk. And then one day you'll wake up and you'll be as glowy and healthy and beautiful and vibrant as Rachel. Okay. So
Yeah,
I thank you
little
very
by
much.
little
What?
by little by little, eat more fruits and vegetables.
Yes. Thank you so much, Rachel, for your time, for your energy, for your love, for your beautiful earrings, for your beautiful presence, and just for being you and being so awesome and fun. And I will talk to you soon. Guys, thank you so very much for watching. If you liked this, please do me a favor, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to hear more content like this. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye. Bye, Rachel Boo. I'm going to send you a voice note right now. Okay, bye.